Hey, what's up, gamers? I'm here, joined by today, Ryan. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Pretty good,
Just
pretty
starting up
good.
some TEW.
Some
First
some
time playing
tub,
it.
some tube too. How far have you gotten into TW 2020?
I am 2 days into NXT.
2 days, nice.
I've kind of been messing around with the different buttons and stuff
hmm
and just kind of looking around right now.
I've done a good bit here and there. I've done some Cornellverse stuff. I've done January Afflation, War of the Immortals. Longest I've taken it is ROH, about a month and a half. What we're going to do for this video today, guys, is pretty much compare TEW 2016. Now, I don't have a monitor big enough to put them side by side, so this is as good as it gets. And you guys know, you long-term fans of TEW know that, like, this is best we get for sizes, sadly. I'm using my other monitor for this one because you guys have seen my TW is actually full screen on my main monitor, and on 2016 it's even bigger also. So this is kind of a good way to jump between the two of them. So try to keep up, guys. So starting off here, it's pretty simple. TW 2020 has got more of the interface of WMMA 5. Did you ever play that?
I did not,
I did not
unfortunately. Well, you know
either.
what? I
Zach
I
had.
saw some gameplay.
Yeah, it looked cool. I'm not the biggest like WMA fan, but I think it's cool. I really enjoy it. If I was more to, MMA and UFC, I would without a doubt probably like enjoy it and love it a lot because it would
Hmm.
fulfill that need that is nowhere's.
Yeah.
I don't know of any you know sports game like that. But to bring it back
Yeah.
to TEW 2020, yeah, the interfaces are pretty similar here. We can see there's an area to ask for questions, get the help there. You got the minimize, which is on the top here, and there's no like little top border that says the name of the game. Instead, it's actually at the top here and tells you the beta build, which is nice. You got your exit out and whatnot. You got two of them here, which will always stay there, so there's not going to be two of them. We have the databases and whatnot. Still the pretty little shirt icon for skins. I'm using just a normal blue and gold. It just changes the colors, but I think we'll go back to default here for the sake of this video with the monochrome and whatnot. And I'm using the default for TW 2016 just to keep it fair. Both of them have a little area of what's new in the game. They got an achievement area in the bottom left. This one's on the top right. They're just different areas. I like it more on the left, honestly, for TW 2020 because of the interface. I feel like it just slicks around, looks better. But
Hmm.
2016 does nothing wrong either. It's just in preference there. Going in here to go then pick the database right off the bat is something that might be a little different for people. You can use your arrows on this. This you cannot, and that's just a thing. We can see here for information, it tells us also workers, how many companies, how many players, whatnot. It tells you what stage of the game you're
Hmm.
in. It's in the AM or PM. I like that. It's pretty cool. It's not in 2016. Just some extra stuff. It tells you exactly when the game was accessed last, even the time of day too. It gives you extra stuff too, telling you about the database and even where the file's located. Pretty nice. Like even the save game file, that's extra and that's cool. So let's load in here to ROH, and then if we load into my impact save here, what we do for impact is we just double click into it and boom. And for this one you would hit load instead, and then boom, hit next, hit continue. Bit of a rewording there. Now they're both going to take us here to our main day screen for the news. We can see that one thing that I don't like, actually in particular, to be nitpicky about or whatever, is that this is already showing Cornellverse people, and I get it's more of like that's what the game's like comes with and whatnot, but I would think like TEW 2016 didn't do that. It just didn't throw the Cornellverse people right at you. Also with 2020 though, if you guys are playing different time periods, it'll change it from like newspapers and whatnot based around the year, which is really cool because my buddy plays a lot of the 1970s, 1980s saves. So that's pretty cool there. Another thing is on the bottom here, you have some quick shortcuts. You can even edit these, which is pretty nice. It can seem a little overwhelming when we get into some other stuff here, but 2016 kept it pretty like simple. It's everything here is the same. It's just now on the bottom you have some quick access areas. And so I think that might be where it's a little intimidating. And then you see the search bar for both areas for the hourglass, or sorry, the magnifier there. You got some note areas. You got that also. Or sorry, for the decisions and signings. These are on the bottom here. So yeah, pretty much same things here, just they look a little different, or it might be in different areas and whatnot. Now for your current settings, there's a little bit more that you can work with here. You can also jump into preferences and see there's a whole bunch of preferences here to work into. So as always, we have the standard sandbox EWR throwback for both of them. You can also create your own defaults, which is pretty nice. So I like how you can also you can balance the game essentially. So if like one region is lacking on workers, the game will try to balance that. I thought that would be a different type of balance also, but that's what that does. You know, if you have any questions, you can definitely go to the little question mark here, and there's an extensive breakdown for that, but I know many people don't mess with it there. Yeah, the help on 2020 is a lot more than 2016, and I think very much needed for 2020 for some people.
Yes.
Not going to lie, my friend. So if we click it here and go to the office, right off the bat, we can see that we have the advanced multi-day, and even jump between characters, which is pretty cool. We don't have that in 2020. We have just end turn or advance, or you have to enable auto advance or multi-advance, and there's no jumping between people. You just, you know, once you're done with your turn, next person's turn. You can't jump between the two and deal stuff at the same time, essentially, which is pretty cool for 2020. Major positive in that regard. Now, if we go to our office here, this is where things get very different and very. This is where people are probably critiquing 2020 very heavily. It's all thrown together on the right side. TEW 2016, you can make the argument it's all thrown together on the left side. I completely agree. You could say that argument. I think the one difference, though, is the borders, honestly, is that you have creative management, external business. That's not the case here. It's kind of just all here. And even if we look, we got start our own company, resign, investments, finance, owner goals, production. That there's just different levels of stuff here. I don't honestly know how it was kind of broken up. Like if the more important stuff's at the top potentially, because in order to get to your company info, you would click on the picture of the company here. Now, if I click on the picture of the company here, it takes us to a bunch of information there. But the main thing here is the company info. And of course, you can relocate, and that's for other features we'll get into. But we're mostly comparing the user interface of the two, and kind of giving some just comparisons here. I'll give some opinions. Ryan will give some opinions. And so we'll just take it from there, like we've been saying. We got birthdays. I don't think even birthdays are a thing on here.
I know there's like you see when their birthday is, but like other than that,
that's it. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't even remember. Like, I don't think there's a little pop up as before for the birthdays. So that's cool. I feel like that was more of a 2005 thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little thing they added, but it was kind of unnecessary.
Quick diary. So assistant, I have a problem with here because like some stuff I feel like should go away, or you should be able to right click and just remove it, such as the 20 active wrestlers and 30 at the moment. That's always there. You should be able to remove that, in my opinion, or it should just go away after you hit the threshold. The morale issues, it would show up here. It'd be like messages, yo, Jim Cornette's ticked off, deal with it or whatever, and you deal with it. Quick diary, you know, I haven't got too much use out of it in quick email, honestly.
Yeah.
But they're on the bottom right. Quick roster, it's pretty good, but you can't scroll.
No, you cannot.
I'm gonna mention that a lot. I guarantee you, I'm not gonna guarantee you actually. That's pretty a bold statement. I would say very heavily, scrolling would get implemented, fixed. I just see it's a big quality of life thing. So I would really hope it get fixed there. We'll jump into not company info, but size, and we'll kind of take it from the TEW 2020 side there. Size, we can already see a big difference there in how this is done. I'm not going to go into detail there, but it's there's no importance. I like that. I like that a lot. Just having the popularity, I think, makes it a lot easier for people. We'll speak more on popularity later, guys, though. But we have maximum size criteria. And I like how it tells you like all the things and names. That's pretty dope, not gonna lie. There's a little bit more stuff with 2016 here with like visibility, where visibility is just right here. All this is kind of just on the same screen. There's not as many on the bottom, which is a good thing in my opinion. Shows your spillover, so it pretty much shows you everything, except for that like notepad. I think there's even like trends, or maybe not, but yeah, it's pretty cool there for size and whatnot. If we go to product screen though, like I said, I could do a whole video on some of these things here, but just comparing them side by side, you get all the kind of same information you need. You can see what your company, you can't scroll, you can see all the stuff you need for keeping it within the boundaries and consequences. Faces and heels, you can strictly enforce, loosely enforce, or not enforce them. I like that a lot, instead of just like having a major penalty if you have them strictly enforced. It's pretty much like critiquing the game in your way, and kind of helps you in a bit.
Yeah.
You can change it from face and heels to technicals and rudos. I like that a lot. So yeah, that's pretty cool. You can turn stables on or off, make them an integral part of the company. Managers on and off. I kind of find that a little weird, but that's a thing. Probably more mod maker, honestly, I feel like. So it's pretty cool there. Close it. We're gonna jump into titles, and titles is looking pretty big for some reason for 2020. Like, just it's going to be able to show a lot more.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can.
Are we giving? Can I give my opinion now, or should I give it later?
You can give it as we're going, straight up.
Okay.
Yeah,
honestly, I like the new screen. It makes it look more like, I don't want to say authentic, but it makes it look like the titles are more important. I don't know how to say that, but it seems different. It seems better. I like the lines. I don't like how colorful it was I liked how colorful it was, but it just makes it seem more important, like getting to the point, like look at the title holders when they held it and everything.
Speaking of colors, gold is the new light blue, or yellow, or if you just turn off colors, it'll just have the straight up monochrome, whatnot, just black and white. So yeah, some people who jumped over from colors of 2016 to 2020 may be really confused. So just keep that with a little note there. So pretty much all the same for that. Create titles, check that out. Pretty much the same. Not noticing anything really different. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Let's take it to finesse. Chirping on finance. Now, I like finance better on 2020 for the reason that we can actually click on the things and it'll say what's spending what. So that's pretty dope. And yeah, you can get more of a like tracking on what you're doing with finances, and it shows you income and expenditures. So it's still bordered off in 2016, but I prefer the 2020 method there. Especially the big bold red there that's telling like what you're doing money wise. Let's get into roster. Going to roster here. Can't scroll.
Big change.
Can't scroll. I think. Roster is massive. Roster is where you're gonna be able to do everything, I feel like.
You know what my biggest issue with it, and you just said it, and I really hope they add it in the new game, is that you can't fucking scroll. Like that's how I use it. Like I do click it sometimes, but I scroll. Like that's how I use it.
Search is nice, but I don't know. I just feel like it's there's really few times where I know exactly who I want.
Yeah. Another issue I have in that, and I think you'll probably get to it, is within the roster, you I don't know.
You're
There's no
cutting out there,
pushes.
Ryan.
Can you hear me? Hello, hello.
Yeah, you're just cutting out there.
Okay, sorry, I'm on a different part of the house. But there's no pushes.
Yeah. That's more. I'm not going to go into that also because it's way different. Talking just the
Yeah.
UI, but that's a massive thing though. You will notice there's no pushes. Goodness, someone's going to take that out of context there for a second. I almost said.
Hmm.
We still have momentum, dispositions, face and heels, but you'll be able to see works baby face instead of just straight up saying baby face. You know, I
Yeah.
had turned off for impact though, but yeah, this is where I think a lot of the intimidation is probably going to come down into also is the rosters. You can click on contracts. This is massively intimidating, I would say, to new people. So yeah, comparing that to this right here, massive. You can't also scroll on this. Now you can't scroll on this either, but the dragging on this, you know, that's a big plus.
Yep.
You can still, you know, click and filter and all that. It's, you know, an Excel spreadsheet or whatever. It's doing its little job. But yeah, I can see where it's intimidating. Now, another thing, just a little side like note, is that one thing that was kind of stressed over this game was there's not going to be as many pop-ups. But personal opinion, I
Yeah.
feel like there's been more pop-ups.
You do.
I feel like there's more pop-ups. So if I go to roster here and I'm on Soo Young, okay, I'm on Eddie Edwards. I want to change his name. Okay, I click on the name, boom, there we go. I go on the name, boom, here we go. Same amount of pop-ups, basically.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Yeah. Now for getting rid of contracts, pretty much, yeah. That's, you know, this is right here where this is another pop-up screen, even though I guess releasing it would be even another pop-up screen and then all the people saying who's angry. But yeah, so I kind of don't want to jump into everything. I don't want to drag this video out to like 40-50 minutes by going into every little thing. Teams are pretty much the same and whatnot. You'll see, not titles, teams pretty much the same. So yeah, it's just wider here for titles. Stables though, whole big different mess. Stables, it's very bland, basic, boring in TEW 2016. There's life to it in TEW 2020. If we add stable, we can add custom pictures to them. We can have all these roles. You know, so much more life for that. Figurehead, same thing as it is in 2016. Brand split has a whole bunch more life to it, but I think it's also got a lot more complexity to it too. That might, you know, also like there's no. I showed this in the live stream video. Whenever I do the whole draft, it doesn't do it, you know, one by one picture showing who shows up, and you're like, oh, he went to Raw, oh, he went to SmackDown. No scrolling also. So, yeah, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine a nightmare probably for some people if you have massive rosters you're doing brand splits with. Creative, exactly the same thing as in TEW 2016. So, yeah, I think, did they remove time decline? I think that might be the like only thing gone here. Looking at it. Yeah, that's a weird one to remove. Time decline. Okay, that's an odd one. Storylines, pretty much the same. I mean, I don't use it too much. I don't like to drag out the game more, but I think the neatness of it in 2016 is to be noted just by looking at it here. Actually, it just feels neater. It feels a lot of linesy. That's a term to use. Promises is new. That's pretty cool. I like it a lot. Chemistry, I like it probably just as much actually. Yeah. I'd probably like it more in 2020 honestly.
Yeah.
So let's see. Tournaments, new, awesome. Can't say anything bad about it. Backstage, a little a little colorful, you know, but at least the colors help to pop out the positive and negatives. But
Yeah.
got the same thing kind of here. There's not as many pop-ups though, because there'd be another pop-up if I was doing these down here. So give them that one.
Yeah.
Medical, pretty much the same. No pop-ups for you to click on surgery and all that. Drug testing, same things before. Coverage, it's kind of an important one here to note for you guys. So kind of the same thing it's looking like. Owner goals, haven't actually done a booker yet. Merchandise is really neat. I just feel like in total for UI though, guys, like the thing that is needed is these little breakups here, because I feel like that's very user friendly, you know, very helps out the new players here. House shows are better how they're done, and ticket prices and all that. Pre-booking, I enjoy a lot more in TEW 2020 compared to 2016.
You do?
So yeah, I'm using it more and whatnot. I don't know why.
Okay.
So it's weird because it annoyed me before it's like 2013 and all that, but now it's like I can get down with that. I like it. Relationships and all that, same. Like all these are pretty much like the same. Honestly, it's nothing like too drastic. Even Hall of Fames kind of follow the same window and all that. So
Yeah.
I think just, and I had that the blue and gold, the classic TW look of 2016. I think it just looks better, honestly, than this. Just a lot of black and white going on here. I know there's some like yellows and whatnot, but yeah. So if we go here, we're gonna look at the companies, I believe. Yeah. So we got the companies. We can scroll on them. That's pretty cool. We got a lot more information. So if we go to NXT and we go to NXT here, we can still see popularity and roster, but it's, you know, I think it's on the same screen. Let me click.
Yeah.
Or maybe popularity. Just click between the arrows, but now there's more stuff telling you some headlines about it, which I like a lot, some results of their show. So if I'm like, hey, how's the competition doing in this show recently? I like it a lot more in 2020, without a doubt.
Okay.
Under wrestlers. Wrestlers in 2020, I am a little jaded on when it comes to filtering, at least. Filtering feels a lot nicer for some reason. I think it's because in terms of skill. Now, for here, we don't have that. So if I'm like, I need someone who's kind of good. Now, I don't know if I'm a new player. I don't know necessarily what defines good for psychology. Is that, you know, anything higher than 50? Is that like in the 90s or 100s? You know, whereas 2020 would give me a very much like, oh, okay, this is good. Here you have to kind of make up your own definition of good. And I just feel like the layout here is just a little bit better, because all these like numbers right here, it's just a nitpicky thing. It just feels just weird, you know, a little intimidating, especially the min and max popularities and whatnot. I don't think you can do multiple regions of popularity, which would have been a nice addition because it wasn't in 2016. But you do have more in terms of like these. You can break down, like, say I want a guy with hundreds across the board and like everything. You couldn't do that in this. You can only do like, you know, the first 5. So in terms of anything missing here though, we have has attribute, which is nice. So that's a positive because it's the bonus there. Looking like we got pretty much everything the same. Even the min and max here is as a pro and whatnot. So the filtering though, or not filtering, the search though is pretty nice. We can type in someone's name and go directly to them. I don't have to scroll down or click and drag. I can scroll for this, which is pretty cool. You can even, here's something cool, for you guys who might not know this, you can even view their profile. And you can actually talk to other people's workers in other companies and kind of like screw them over. So if I'm Vince McMahon and I'm like, hey, Jericho, you should retire. Jericho's like, I'm going to retire. That can happen. I've done that in the Cornellverse save actually to a company. I was playing as USPW and I think SW, I don't know which Cornellverse, but SWF I got a guy to retire. So fun little side thing there. Next up is training facilities, which formerly was known as dojos. Yeah, just pretty much more information on them, which is nice. I prefer 2020 method here. I think people get used to this more than 2016. I think it will encourage people more to use dojos and have new people show up and whatnot. Now we have the alliances. Pretty much like the same, honestly. Still got the same information. So it also shows former members now, which I don't believe they actually, yeah, not a thing in here, which is nice. Taking it down to broadcasters, whole different type of beast in this game. If we search here now, we can see we have terrestrials, we have cable, we have internet. Whereas in TEW, we have pay-per-view, commercial, free-to-air, and subscription. Having those breakdown from terrestrial, cable, internet, I'm not really crazy about. I think the simplicity of TEW 2016 and what they are is better. You know, it's got the negotiations, and when negotiating with them, there's more, and I'll do a different video on talking about broadcasters, because I feel like that's going to be a big part in how you make money, is negotiating with broadcasters and what they're willing to contribute to your show. And I see like that's maybe a problem converting over saves, is the broadcasters don't know how to balance how much they should give you, because you can finesse your way into better deals. Finally, here we have the globe, which is the world. A world looking a lot better in TEW 2020, in my opinion. So, you know, I like it better. I think it looks a lot cooler. You know, you can hover over here and it's nice, but being able to click and see the regions and see key stuff going on is pretty cool. It'd be cool if you could see key popular superstars, in my opinion, like the people who are most known. You can see home regions to people.
Yeah.
I think can't do that. You can see the battles and whatnot, so that's pretty good there. Other than that, that's kind of going to do it here for UI in terms of the like day-to-day AM stuff. And we're going to pause real quick, and then we're going to take it to the booking screen for you guys. Actually, here's another good one to bring up for you guys also, is the loading screens. When you're looking at it, you got the workers, of course, but now you actually have the stats, which is pretty cool. So if you see a guy and you're like, oh, his stats are amazing, his story's amazing, he looks crazy, that's good there. Now, this little loading thing on the bottom is what annoys me. I feel like this should be filling up. If there was a way to get this to fill up, I feel like it would make the loading screen seem even faster, which would be a lot better, in my opinion, there. All right, we're here. PM stage here. Last but not least, we also got Zach joining us here, and he'll give his final opinions on the UI and whatnot. Right off the bat here, it's weird because it feels like, you know, there's more stuff right here looking at it on 2016, but 2020, I feel like it's just all these stupid lines that make it more intimidating. But I like this here because it shows you your last show. I really like that a lot. But I feel like some people could just be like, oh, what's all this stuff? And I think it's putting stuff on the bottom that throws people off when they're used to seeing it on the sides. Or it's just right there in their face when it comes to like shown on and all that. Whereas this is like on the top here, and you're like, oh, like I think it's just like more reading, and people hate more reading, which is weird in a game that's text-based. I think that's really weird. So
like the entire game, but okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just but so yeah, it has more details here. It tells you how long the show is. It does that here too, but maybe because it says length 2 hours and here it says this show is set to last 1 hour, maybe that fact that it's a full sentence scares people. I don't know. But you know, maybe that's just a simplicity thing with 2016 that people enjoy more. I don't see it too much of a big deal, but I could see where some people would prefer that, honestly. So yeah, we got the backstage incidents. Both are lighting up, screaming at me. It's a little bit easier to miss with 2020 in my opinion. I've overlooked it a good bit because it's on the bottom. We have locker room controls, which is you have to do the locker room incident first with 2016, and then you'll be able to do that stuff there. Same for here, but it's its own little area. Absent workers, which is weird that this is a pop-up because it's not in 2016. Motivational speeches and all that. This is a big old fist here. So next up we got, you can go back to your company. You can do that here too. Goes into all the things. There's stuff that you can't do, of course. Then this goes to where the show is at. You can scroll wheel here though. It's got all the regions. It's got some information. It's going to tell you how many are expected to show up, last time people showed up, last time people visit. Same thing as before, pretty much. And then finally we have the booking screen. Now the fact that there's lines probably what intimidates people. But you have positions, type, description, same thing as before. Segment name has the length and whatnot. I don't believe we're going to auto book both shows real quick. You got auto book. Warning that you have incidents. You're right. The game's going to yell at me there. Let me take care of those. Something to be note though, if we go to locker room controls, whenever we do metal and whatnot, it'll actually tell us the likelihood of things succeeding because of attribute traits, which is pretty cool there actually. If we go to auto booker here, bit different than the auto booker in 2016. You know, there's still the assistant booker. It's here also. It's just book only a match, or only matches or an angle instead of the whole show. Now, this though, you're able to click don't book any title matches. That's not here when you book whole show. It just does the whole show. And I'm like, are there title matches on here? So you kind of have to go and check yourself. So, but yeah, the auto booker is most of the time good at fulfilling the show for 2020. 2016, I have less problems with auto booking wise, even like quality wise of the show. So we go and run both shows there. Booking analysis has better details about who's overused, by the way. Just a little thing there. Nice burp. Start show. Here gives the same match, same thing, same format of what happened. Road agent notes are split up more importantly, especially in dirt sheets. It gives us a lot more. You can't scroll wheel, just so. Take a shot every time.
Really preference the fact that you can't scroll wheel.
Take a shot every time you can't scroll, basically. Shows you the road agent notes there. Just regular match, booking details, whatnot. Worker improvements. Where's that at? It's not here. I feel like that's kind of important, in my opinion. But, yeah, that's gonna do it there. And without going into, like, anything else except for just the UI. Just talking about the UI, because there's a ton more to talk about. And of course, we're just doing it bit by bit. But then, of course, when the full game comes out, I do not think it's fair for anybody to give a full review of the game until you play through a whole year, because I think it gives that whole package of character generation, end of the year rewards, if there's anything going on throughout that we just don't know about, hidden features. You know, I think it's good to say, here's what we have in the demo before people buy the game and get hooked on it. Here's what people have at the full package rate. So that's why we're going to do a separate full review, aside from like these little mini things, which isn't really mini because it's 30-some minute videos. But if you stuck along, thank you very much. Here you can see when the show ends, and breakdown here. I just 2016 just feels nicer. You know, it tells you position-wise also. Yeah, you can change it from main event at the top or main event at the bottom. It just feels nice having that position number there.
It definitely helps.
The number thing is just, colored numbers just feel weird. You can turn that off. Just going to let you know. And these right here gives you show notes. Same thing as before. But ultimately, though, guys, and it pops more for the rating, and that's what I'm going to miss more. Especially like those letter grades, because that's not there. There's no letter grades, just like with pushes and whatnot. But UI wise, Ryan, Zach, what do you guys think?
UI wise, just
yeah.
UI wise,
Just UI wise.
16 was definitely built a lot more sleek and a lot more comfortable. It's a lot more user friendly, I think. But I think as soon as somebody can sit down and get the hang of 2020, it's a whole new ball game. Once you master 2020, you can't go back to 16. But once you can master 16, it's not that difficult to get into 2020.
I agree. I feel like it's a increase or a step up every game they come out with. So I feel like 2016 was
I
a
hope
step
it'd
up
be
from
a
2013.
It's been 4
yeah,
years.
I know. I'm just saying, like you'll get used to it. And
yeah, it just takes time with everything.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, we gave you some opinions and thoughts and everything. You guys make your own decision here. We gave you a video to see side by side. Of course, the demo is free. You can do that. You can even install the 2016 demo. That's free also, and you can do side by side there. A more in-depth analysis for you guys. Overall, though, it's going to be up to you guys on you know, how you feel on the UI and like, is it a preference that you enjoy more? I personally stand more towards the 2016 UI and being more user friendly, but 2020, especially jumping from an experience like playing this game last 4 years, 2016 to 2020, jumping from 2013 to 2016, didn't miss a beat at all. Felt like I was continuing, you know, pretty normally. Now, being a whole new game and whatnot for 2020, it's just something you got to get used to. It's a whole new game, whole new
learning curve.
Yeah, whole new ballpark, learning curve and whatnot. So yeah, I'm gonna just leave it there with you guys, and tell me what you think down below. Keep it safe. Stay tuned for more TEW 2020 videos. Peace out. Thanks, gamers.